What's up, guys? Shaz here, and welcome to the another review for games. So today we're doing Assassin's Creed 2. So Assassin's Creed 2 was basically Ubisoft's second attempt at the AC franchise, and it was one of the few games that got a lot of people hyped and a lot of people enjoyed it because it was it had a lot of improvements from the first game while like introducing newer and better mechanics and which a lot of people enjoyed about the game. So the idea is the basically explaining how what the new mechanics of these in this game were and like how it improved the game, how it made it more fun and stuff like that. So let's start off with the basic stuff. The basic thing that people enjoyed a lot about Assassin's Creed 2 wasn't just like the combat. The combat was fairly simplistic, but what was more fun about the game was its parkour. The parkour in this game was something relatively new, since a lot of games at that time weren't like used to making parkour based games. If they were basically sports games in a sense. But Assassin's Creed 2 changed that, and it had like an old age parkour system, and it was a great game. Like a lot of people enjoyed the parkour. Me personally, I enjoyed AC games for their parkour, as like there's a lot of like weight and like detail in the movement they perform. Unity obviously has my like most favorite parkour system. Like there's a lot more depth and detail in that, but AC2 like built the basic foundation for like better parkour. AC1 Assassin's Creed 1 also did this, but AC2 like had more like different additions. It also had a better stealth system than like the first Assassin's Creed games, in which if you threw a knife at any enemy, you would instantly like get spotted. In AC2, it's a little bit different. Like if you fire a knife at a weaker enemy, it will one shot and keep your stealth available, stuff like that. The only thing I really hated about Assassin's Creed 2's stealth mechanics was that if you are like trying to do a social stealth while like walking up to a guy, your character would basically stab him in a way that would make it obvious to almost every enemy around the area. So like most of the time the stealth wouldn't work, except for like ledge stealth and like walk up stealths, which are like rare. What I'm trying to say is that like social stealth wasn't well established in this game. Like you couldn't just assassinate anyone just through a crowd. You would actually get caught. Rooftop climbing and like parkour was were still two features in this game that were like more enjoyable, and it like really helped. There was a lot of like the open world was also nice. Visiting places like Firenze, Venice, Romania, Montegrale, I'm pretty sure I just spoke that wrong, was annoying. But the worlds were actually very well made. There was enough detail. You could see a lot of like different beautiful places, different churches, which are like related to real life stuff. And the game did a really well job on like keeping itself historically accurate. Because I know a lot now, because as compared to now the games that come out, Ubisoft just makes shit up and it's like lost everything that made the series amazing. Other than that, the game's got a lot of like weapon options, which I personally like. There's the throwing knives, which you can use for like ranged enemies. There's the pistol, which can like one shot any enemy, but will like remove the stealth mechanic of it. Like you'll get caught after you shoot someone. Other than that, there were some collectible stuff. You could find chests all over the map where you could collect different like loot and stuff like that. There were feathers, which were like a side mission for your brother. It was fun. There were also like organizations which you could hire. There were actually three different like organizations. There were the brothels that would be used to distract guards. Thieves would do the same but lure away the guards from that area. And then there were like actual soldiers who would like help you from in combat. There was also a notoriety system similar to like the GTA's star system, which would basically work in a way that would make you like get more like the guards would be more alert after seeing you and like would try to attack you as soon as they see you. Something that was similar to like GTA, the GTA games. But in the same way, you could like find different ways to remove it by like removing posters, bribing like speakers, stuff like that. This game was generally okay. I'm not saying it's the best combat. It does make sense why they had to like go for combat systems like Valhalla or like Odyssey, but combat wasn't that bad. It was just a simple case of wait for the enemy to attack so you could deflect them, hit them a bunch of times until their health is low enough so that your character could do an execution. You can taunt, you can grab enemy weapons, something stuff like that, which was fun. But in a way, the game had some annoying aspects, and it was understandable why the combat in the second game wasn't that well liked. Again, but it wasn't. But it was way worse, like in the first game, where combat was a little bit worse. There's also a lot of like open world stuff you can do. You can do contracts of like killing guards, do races, beat up. There are beat 'em up events where you like. There's there's also a lot of ways to like. There are a lot of options in like the social stealth abilities as well. You can like hide in crowds. You can sit down in a bench to avoid any chasers. Parkour. You can use the stalls to like avoid getting chased or like make sure the guys behind you can't find you. And assassination options were also great. There were different ways of assassinating people. There were poison shots, there was pistol shots, throwing knife I've already explained. There were also poison abilities which would like put guards in a crazed daze, which would like force up their own men to attack them. Like they would go crazy and then like start attacking their own men. This was like a way to create some distractions or like make the enemy avoid you. It was fairly easy and a lot helpful because it would just like fool guards, and it was a great way to not get caught because if you do like a poison assassination, guards won't actually like notice you, which is like a really helpful thing because normally if you try to do any type of social stealth, you'll always get caught, especially when you're in like squad, like near more men. You can also like do different type of assassinations. Most of your assassinations can like work with the haze. You can also like and the poison assassinations don't like are like limited. They're actually available on any type of enemy, even like the heavy armored enemy. The game has a lot of like variety when it comes to enemy. There's different type of enemies like the heavy armored guy, the semi armored guy, the fast runners, and then the like low cadet classes, which are like really easy to kill. The poison classes are basically the vials. However, I didn't barely use at all during my playthrough, mainly because there were like easier ways to like handle enemies. They are like helpful in some scenarios, but like I said, it depends on how like creative you are with your scenarios. You could do one of like the best ways of like taking out enemies, or you could just like go like straight on head on. There are like I said, stealth was a little bit worse, but there were some good things about the stealth. Like it was made better because like doing stuff like throwing knives was actually a better option. However, when there were forced segments where you had to be like playing stealth forcefully, it wasn't fun since like I said, this is again the second attempt at the game and it wasn't that well made. So stealth segments weren't that fun because if you got like even threw a knife at someone and they were able to like live through it, there was a high chance that you would get caught and the mission would end up failing. Other than that, it was fairly fun. You can actually like do a lot of stealth takedowns. Sometimes the AI is also a lot janky, so sometimes they'll notice you, sometimes they won't. Depends on like the scenario. You can also use like the poison vial in order to like force the guards to like start attacking each other, so that there's like a riot and like confuse guards, which is like a great way to like remove security from certain areas. However, sometimes the guards will just back off from the area, which means that all it's gonna be is like one guy standing around throwing around his sword while the other guards are just looking at him, which is annoying because that will still make you end up getting caught. And like I said, it got better in like later games, but this was still annoying. your not your notoriety is basically depends on like the amount of civilians seeing you kill guards or you doing weird stuff. Like if you do stealth kills and no one notices you, then you'll be okay. But if you're like fighting guards head on and like killing them in the street, your notoriety will increase, and which will cause you to be like people will like see you head on and like notice where you are directly. Other than that, the combat also had some like new things which I liked, especially the disarm mechanic, which is like a one shot mechanic if you like are able to do it properly. It can even like take out fully armored guards, which is really helpful because these guys can like disarm you as well, and in some cases one shot you. Other than that, the places and like places in this game were great. Like as I said before, you can do the synchronizations and like look at these places by yourself. What else is there? The story is fine. The story is actually interesting. You end up fighting the Pope in the end. But what I liked about the AC2 games and like the story was that they made sure not to like overthrow any like farts or like make sure like go away from detail. There's actually an entire intel system in this game which would like give you a small summary of any character you meet. So say Christina's son, who you rescue from the Orsi brothers, you can actually like get a file on him which tells about his like actual impact on the history of Venice, which I still consider a pretty cool thing. Other than that, I think the most enjoyable thing about this game is still the parkour, like the way the detail in parkour is and how fun it is to move through world like that. It also makes the world of like Venice and like Italy more fun than like normal games because the world is designed to like work with your mechanics. It's designed to work with your parkour skills. Most games don't accomplish that, and like this is something that I like about Assassin's Creed, that in almost every game they had except like Odyssey and Origin and like Valhalla, they've always made sure to choose worlds that were like enclosed and enclosed, so that the players could have like the freedom of like enjoying their parkour mechanics in which they've like worked really hard on, instead of like Valhalla just having a fast travel system just so that they could pathetically make more RPG and side missions. It's something that really makes me disappointed with the current AC games that are coming out right now. Although Mirage is being said to be like something new, so I hope it really turns out good. But I really hope that they go back to like something like AC2 or Brotherhood, where social stealth is good. Combat can be like similar to God of War or maybe something to Valhalla, but not too focused on like the RPG system, which is annoying. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope that the AC games like get better further on because I like the Assassin's Creed franchise, especially 3. I know a lot of people hate 3, but I like it. But in the end, I think I'd give 2 an 8 out of 10. The combat is the only thing that held this game back because of even if the game had like a lot of varying options and a lot of customization, the problem with the game was that its combat wasn't that well used because it was basically counter shoot, counter hit, stuff like that. So that's the only grime I have against the game. Other than that, the game was really enjoyable, and I think I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Like I said, the combat was the only thing that made it fall apart. The story was good as well, so and the characters were fun. And like I said, the story and how it like paced was also well done. And it's not like they misused any asset or like wasted any potential cities. Each city had its fair time and how it was used. So other than that, I think that's enough for the review. So alright guys, I'm gonna be ending the review here. If you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.